fire. Kill it. Rasta music represents. Rasta music represents. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. S-I-N-Y. Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Boom, haha. Welcome black. Jadred, your host, Lip Darsini. I'm back. We back with another banger.
Yes, sir.
We have one of our legacy guests in the house, Taheem. You know
How
what
you
I'm
doing?
saying?
What's going on?
Everything good, my brother.
Chillin',
Glad to have
chillin',
you
chillin'.
back. But always, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Dapper T, Dapper D.
You
like,
know it. You know it.
right,
Glad
right.
to see you in good health and good strength. You
Yes,
know?
man. Yes. It's been, once you get up there in age, you really have to take care of yourself. So
Definitely.
start young.
I'm eating salads now, baby. You know,
Right.
nothing but salads.
I try, but I do like in between stuff. So my food is part healthy and part right. I need
part.
both.
All right, bet.
But salads, they'll work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're gonna keep you toned, man. They're gonna keep you toned. They're gonna keep you slim, keep your skin clear.
Yeah. I'm trying to get there. Just keep up with me. We was just talking about some good people that
Yeah.
I need to meet also.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel you
Right.
when we wrap this up.
Right. So, back to the spotlight on you. We got you in the house. Just please introduce yourself to my guests over here.
How you doing? My name is Taheem. I'm a hip hop artist from Brooklyn. I'm currently based in the Bronx. I not only rap, I also do the production, and I also do male, female vocals on all my records. So that's another good thing I do. I do little minor cinematography and editing. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
It's good. That's a good thing to be because sometimes the middleman, sometimes those people, they're not on the same schedule as you.
Exactly. So you got to cut, and it helps you cut costs.
That too, but I didn't want to say that part, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause,
You got to keep it real. You got to keep it real.
Right, I didn't want to put that part in there like, oh yeah, John, that's how you doing it? But it's just, for me, it's less of a headache.
Yeah.
The money, who wants to pay people money and you don't get nothing for your money's worth? So you eliminate that, like you said. And it's a beautiful thing to know all of these areas and to have all of these skill sets. You never can have too many skill sets in life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Especially when it comes to like music, because if somebody just say they have an accident or something, you could always kind of still keep the projects rolling,
Yeah, you have to step up. And sometimes it could be, you're right about keeping it going because I have done 3 music videos and I'm in the back of the camera filming these videos and then I'm in the front of the camera directing these videos, and ask me how I can do both of them at the same time, I wouldn't even be able to answer you that. But it just goes to show you that you have to be able to step up into all of these positions,
And especially I feel on the production side, it's good to be able to, put your fingerprint on the sound because I know exactly what I want when I'm making my music.
Right.
And then say if I'm inspired at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning where I'm not around any producer, I could automatically just rush home or, get the idea out of my head as soon as possible.
Right. It's guaranteed that you're going to get your vision,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, out there. So the best way to get your vision out there is to do exactly what you did.
Exactly.
And, right. You have no diversions or none of that stuff there.
Yeah.
Right. You get straight to what you set out to do. And sometimes, like me, I had to learn it's not perfect. Even with doing that, it's certain stuff that I can't do.
Yeah.
There's certain stuff that I can do. And then it's certain stuff that you just have to conquer your fears with. The stuff that you think you can't do or you're scared to do, just do it. It's not as bad as you thought it was, But we do have a video. Ash, you ready for us with this video over there?
Yes. This record, the first record we're going to get into is a record called Heat.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by Leandro Marte. We shot it here in New York City. We had some beautiful, talented models. Heat/Eye of the Storm. It's like the B-side record of it.
Okay.
I produced that record myself. Heat did that like a few summers ago. It's still relevant, still very crisp. Let's get
That's
into
how
it.
the industry goes. Was old to you might be new to other people. It's
Exactly.
definitely new to me. So
Yeah, well,
don't be spoiling it for me. And then after the visuals, then we can come back and talk some more about it.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Summertime make you take your clothes off. Good sex make you take your clothes off, yeah. It's getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Hot drinks make you take your clothes off. Out here make you feel it off slow, yeah. When the weather get warm, my flow get hot and kids know it's on. Convertible tops drop like panties. Jeans getting shorter, chicks showing fanny, yeah. Been waiting all year to get out this coat and fly winter wear. Spring is in, the new bling is in, the new king is in. It's who singing Slim, yeah. Outside like Pepper, ain't cool, but somebody getting wetter. Some knucklehead won't make it till the summer. Some dumb getting dumped in the dumpster, yeah. The crime don't stop till God come and the time gets stopped. Bottles get popped, Corona by the cases, yeah. The summer oasis, yeah. It's getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Summertime make you take your clothes off. Good sex make you take your clothes off, yeah. It's getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Hot drinks make you take your clothes off. Out here make you feel it off slow, yeah. You single this summer, what up, girl? Cool out with a young stud, not youngster. I'm a grown man, and that's one love, yeah. All it takes is one shove. Up in this club to mess your summer up. Forget the beef, crash your barbecue. Get a plate of food, smoke one with your crew, yeah. Buddy up with your boo. When the weather hot, the women is too. Fellas is showing off the six pack. She fell for it, now she pregnant, yeah. Never life went away. 4th of July firework with the flow. Hotness, and this is all I know. More money, more cash, more O's, yeah. Getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Summertime make you take your clothes off. Good sex make you take your clothes off, yeah. Getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Hot drinks make you take your clothes off. Out here make you feel it off slow, yeah. Getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Summertime make you take your clothes off. Good sex make you take your clothes off, yeah. Getting hot out here, yeah. Springtime make you take your clothes off. Hot drinks make you take your clothes off. Out here make you feel it off slow, yeah. Take your clothes off, 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 yeah. Take your clothes off. Feel it off slow, yeah.
Did we miss a part?
Yes.
Oh, shucks. Yes, we did. How much? What it was like another 30 seconds
Yeah.
or something? It was like another 30 seconds coming on there. Is that this the part? Yeah. Let it play.
It wasn't done.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how I'm gonna spend my life with you.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good.
Yeah, that last, because it was 2 videos in one. It kind of like transitioned, and then, yeah. We were supposed to talk and then come into this
Tell me how
one.
you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. I make it feel so good cause I take it slow. Tongue tango
bet.
angles you never know. Make it feel so good cause I can't rely. I fill you up with the face so you fear it not. Soft kisses on your
Yeah.
neck to get you high.
That's me?
So
Yeah.
intense and intense until you pop. Keep it laced with that upside down frown.
I try to
Put
look
you
different
up in
in
that
every video.
townhouse downtown. Making out from the bedroom to the shower.
That's me
Your
singing,
makeup
too.
getting all of my white collar. No front, yeah, I give you every dollar. Make it feel so good that you holler. Love how you respecting God's power. So sweet all the time and never sour. Delicate and graceful as a flower. You the wifey and the baby mama.
Tell me how you make
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Make it feel so good, make it last long. Rough sex and sweaty with passion.
And then we're gonna have to
Love
talk
how
for-
we rip off the fashion.
for the nut- for
Lip
20
locking,
minutes
much
straight.
tongue
So I kinda
gymnastics.
wanna-
No problem, see we in that harmony. Honestly, devout you honor me. Really, only you
I
get
did want
the
them to see
really
the
mix
last
it up
30
like
seconds of that
alchemy.
video.
Kissing on the balcony, overlooking the Manhattan skyline. Only a star like you can share
Alright,
my
bet.
shine. Not compatible, we compatible. Top down, cruise down the avenue. Hugs and kisses will lavish you. God's great pleasures will ravish you. Love and respect will cherish you. A blessing is what I have with you.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how I'm gonna spend my life with you.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good.
Tell me how you never let me go. Tell me, baby, how you
That's the girl from the other video?
No.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how I'm gonna spend my life with you.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good.
Tell me how you never let me go. Tell me, baby, how you always love me so.
Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. Tell me how you make it feel so good. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you, baby.
So, we just came from the beach to the after party. You know what I'm saying? And let's start at the beach first.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
let's
saying?
start at
Because
the
that's one
beach.
of my favorite songs of yours right there. So it was good to see visuals behind it, and everything was perfect. How was the beach that day?
Oh, the beach was windy that day. It was windy that day.
Yes. Yes.
We recorded that video during COVID.
Oh, okay.
So we had, nobody was allowed to be outside around those times. So nobody
Oh,
wanted
so
to
you
be
had the
outside.
beach to yourself?
So we had the entire Coney Island beach to ourselves. There was like, you know, you had like maybe 12 people on the beach that day.
Yeah, it is Coney Island. You know
Yeah.
that, right. And polar
So-
bears.
It was real windy that day, real windy, but we got it done. But it all kind of balanced itself out because it was a high tempo track, and the wind kind of played into the recording process.
And like the acting was phenomenal. Okay, I would have thought y'all was in California somewhere, Miami somewhere. Right, I ain't seen nobody like this. I ain't seen nobody like this.
Nah.
Y'all did
The
your
girls
thing.
are real troopers. They stuck it out.
Right.
Yeah, that was
right.
directed by Leandro Marte,
Okay.
and he does most of my videos right now.
Right. In addition to you, because
Yeah.
Right. And then let's get to the after party, because I see it done warmed up after the beach, right?
Yeah.
Real quick. You know what I'm saying?
That record is both of those records. Heat is on the album I have out now. Is on the Heat album.
Okay.
And the record Tell Me is on the Live on the Square album that I have out now. That's more of like a joint that you can enjoy with your partner.
Right,
you know,
right.
a love song. You know, promoting wholesome values and healthy relationships,
Right.
because that's kind of like missing in today. There's like so much toxicity.
Oh, Zeus. I blame Zeus Network, those networks, Tyler Perry, the other one, they threw the TV, Precious, okay? I blame them. Lee Daniels, I blame all of them, because even Jerry Springer, you know what I'm
Even
saying?
Jerry Springer.
Like, why would y'all make dysfunctionality the normal? basically.
You know, interesting thing is dysfunctionality is the norm, because as you see when we watch the video, you know, we had some religious base. People, it was a Bible-based relationship.
Yeah, I did see that
You know,
also.
I think that when a man and a woman in a relationship, they include God into their relationship, and they have morals and standards. I think you kind of remove you have a solid foundation, and you kind of remove yourself from the toxicity because you have some morals and principles and codes to live by. And I believe a man and a woman, they in the Word of God, and they spend time praying together, because people could pray individually, you know, but if you're doing it together, y'all both gonna have someone y'all gonna have a level of accountability, and then you're gonna have a higher accountability as well.
That, and the woman has to be able to submit. You have all of these women that they just want to wear the pants and do all of this stuff, and that's not, you know what I'm saying?
They can wear pants, but they can't wear the pants.
Right,
You know,
right. Let your husband be the husband. You can't go there and just do all of that stuff and then say, "Oh, I don't need you anyway." Right. So that's where that problem comes out, and I'm glad you broke that down, because my viewers probably at home looking like you're gonna take all our girls. Okay,
Nah.
They can't even smell you. Okay, right. One way or another, your girl is leaving the club with this guy.
Nah.
Right here.
See, gentlemen, y'all don't have to worry. Taheem is a one-woman man. Y'all don't have to worry about me stealing your woman. You know, your woman. I can't handle all of them. And I'm gonna need some help from the rest of the gentlemen to cater to the rest of these women. You know.
That's good too, because you know some church people, they want 52 wives. You understand what I'm saying?
Not me. That's not even biblical. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell them that, okay?
You know.
They just swear they doing it right, and
I think that kind of attitude comes out of because they hear Solomon have 700 wives, but they don't know back in those times, like, you know, those were business contracts that he had with other kings. So that was something they would do to like form like an alliances and stuff like that.
Right.
You have 50 women today. You're not forming an alliance with anybody. That's just you lusting, trying to get some, you know, whatever.
And do the numbers. 700 wives, that's about 2,100 headaches a week. Okay, who got time for that?
Yeah, but then you
there?
got to think about Solomon. Solomon was a king. Most guys sleeping around now ain't kings. They working at Starbucks.
Well, they started out as kings, you know what I'm saying? And then
They ain't no kings in America. You know?
Right. But their royalty, they just don't know their worth. That's why I try
Yeah.
to tell people that they're priceless, and stop settling for, you know what I'm saying, anything under you. Okay? Oversell yourself. Don't undersell yourself.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to that right there.
Definitely. So that's what that record was about in totality, you know, because how can we like move forward in communities if we don't have like solid foundations? As a man and a woman, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna raise the children? You know what I'm saying?
Be a lot of roadblocks there, and
child support is a headache too. You know, you don't want to be on child support. So
when you really, from my point of view as a parent, it's really not about the money. It's more about the time that you put in. So when you have child support, you really need to be putting more of your time support in, not the money. Kids can have everything in the world, okay? They only want to see you there. That's what relaxes them. That's what, you know what I'm saying, helps them to build that confidence. A lot of times you have parents that don't support their kids. Kids is LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? Why you not going to the games? Why you not there cheering with everybody else?
See, he does. That's an example of being a good father. You know, being there with your kids, supporting their goals and their dreams and pushing them. But you can only do that when you have, you know, both parents in the house working together.
I'm glad you know.
You know, if you don't have that, then, you know, it's more likely that the child is going to get into trouble because he don't always have eyes on them.
Right.
You know?
Right. I'm glad you know that there, and even if you don't live in the same house,
Yeah, you could still
learn to co-parent.
Right. If you don't have the type of setup.
Right. Don't argue in front of the kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with the other parents say or whatever, y'all talk about that at, you know, different time, but not in front of the kids. Kids know how to play both sides, and then the next thing you know is the war of the roses. Okay. Right. Y'all be going for blood against each other just because this kid wants to get over on both of y'all. You know
kids,
what I'm saying?
they're some little hustlers, you know, so you really need that discipline.
Right. Right, and then spending time with them, you will spot some of these little things early and
Yeah.
be able to nip them in the bud. I'm not saying beat them, but you can have these discussions, these open discussions with them about, where they're going wrong or the wrong path that they're choosing,
And the belt don't hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
I got the belt. Look how I turned out.
Right. All the Supreme Court judges, all the mayors, police commissioners, doctors, okay? But these are the same people that really don't want you to discipline your children.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be where they at now if it wasn't for their parents disciplining them.
Disciplining them.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. So it's always a catch-22, and you should never take the power away from the parents.
Not
you know
at
what I'm
all,
saying?
not at all.
Especially when they have to deal with the kid, and then you're gonna tell them to stand there and let the kid beat them up, and they just supposed to.
To lay down.
Right.
Shit, my mother was not having that.
Right.
I couldn't even give my mother the side eye. The side eye, you end up with a black eye.
You can't even breathe wrong, okay? And when you have those parents, but at the end of the day, respect is due. Look how much, when you have those parents that do everything for you, then you should never be like that. Even the parents who don't do as much or as not as involved in their children's life, the children, when y'all grow up and have your children, the type of parent you want to be is the parent that you always wanted. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? We could fix this, but don't follow behind that lead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the cycle just continues.
Yeah.
Right. So back to your music here. We gotta see, cause they missed out on a little
little snippet.
something real good. So we gotta see how we can fit that back in.
Oh, okay.
And just in case, we're gonna direct them now to where they can find the videos and
Oh, okay.
catch it on their own. if
Y'all
they
can
have-
check it out on YouTube. Just if you type in Taheem, TAHEEM, on YouTube, I'll pop up. You'll see my face. You'll see. I have a few videos out there. I got Tell Me, Eye of the Storm, Live on the Square, and Heat, and I got a couple interviews up here as well.
Okay.
So, and then you could also go on Instagram, God's Favorite Rapper, and you'll see all my content there as well.
Right, and then if you really want to do your research, then you can go back and watch the show that we did together.
Yes, as
here.
well.
Right,
Part 1.
right. The introduction. So, anything upcoming new? I know you're just really getting back into
Yeah.
your business.
See, I like to keep those things secret
Oh,
because I like to
okay.
keep
All
people
right,
on their
all right,
toes.
all right.
So,
So give them your Instagram. I didn't hear you give them the.
God's Favorite Rapper at Instagram.
Right. So at least go there. You
You pretty much get an update. You stay locked in the way you're on social media anyway. So
Right.
you could go in there and tap in, and I post quite regularly.
Yeah, you always active. Me, you know
No,
what
I'm
saying?
not. I'm not as active. I like to maintain some mystery.
You have to. You can't give everything away, for
You know?
one. And for two, the way they try to connect everything, it really makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about all the social medias and your
Yeah.
location and your phone number and this and that. And you're right. We live in a real crazy world to where everything is just given, basically. I remember I had to go to the library and know the Dewey Decimal System to find a book or else, you know what I'm saying? Ask the librarian for help. But now it's like so fast paced, they don't really even have to read the book no more. It would read everything to you. It would tell you, remember we had closed caption?
Yeah.
Right. At least you still had to read what was on the screen. Now
Yeah.
the closed caption are taught.
Just-
Right.
I think technology is kind of like connecting us and disconnecting us at the same time, because people don't have real interaction with people anymore. They just go on their phone. And not to say that that's not a real interaction, but it's different playing the game with someone online and playing a game with someone, you know, in your house.
Right. Those things are portals. We carry around portals.
Even though you could reach more people, but the interaction isn't really.
That's why I
the
call
same.
them portals.
Portals.
Those are portals, you know what I'm saying? And
It's plus and minus. You could use it, and it's good in a way, but it's bad and negative in a certain way.
like the Sour Patch Kid, till the damn phone turn against you, you know what I'm saying? And you can't get the phone to do nothing, right? Ain't your friend no more. So I agree, once again. But we really have to keep the values and the stuff that was taught to us, you know what I'm saying, to pass down generations.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, the more the internet and all of that grows, the more watered down and false information just
Yes, that's
trickles
another
in.
bad thing as well.
Right.
And then you know, when it comes to especially music, like there's so much like music that's missing, that's like not getting like exposure.
You know how the industry goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been in the industry for a good while now. You know how it goes. And it's nepotism is a word they try to use, but it's not really nepotism. It's agendaism. It's like whatever they have their agenda on, you know what I'm saying? If you fit that agenda at the right time and place, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's not talent. They're not looking for talent. They're looking for faces that could project these, you know, agendas
Yeah.
out there. You know what I'm saying? And appeal to the crowd that they're looking for or whatever, reaction or whatever. Even with the music you brought up, how do you think Elvis or Michael Jackson or Tupac or all of these artists, those ones are not here right now, but the ones that are live, and they're taking their presence and making rap songs like Drake. He's just gonna add who he want on the music. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the good thing about what I like about Drake is that he does incorporate some of the '90s music, like you know, because a lot of these records don't get a lot of airtime. It's like I think like they used to do with the sampling. They incorporated a lot of songs that you don't hear on the radio anymore. Like they don't play those songs anymore. You don't hear them. You have to either know somebody to hear those records, or you gotta have a deep collection. Like, give you an example. Yesterday I was playing a song from the Whispers, Rock Steady, and just out in the street, out and about, and someone heard it and they was moving, they was dancing to it. It's like people missed, like any age group was moving to it, and even if they didn't know it, it's just like the music still kind of like moved them.
Right.
You know, so that's a thing I think, like sampling and like, you know, even other artists like Drake still using music from previous artists and
No,
using it
I
in the
mean,
music is
you
good.
going, and you said you listen to the Whispers?
Yeah.
And then you just gonna make your own Taheem and Whispers song, and I have the Whispers in the background, you know what I'm saying?
Whispering.
Whatever they gonna do, but you know what I'm saying? They never agreed to be on the song, which
Yeah.
was more what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like sampling artists' vocals, you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing about that. That's the thing
Right.
when people like. That's another thing. That's different. That's a whole completely
Right,
different
right,
discussion.
right.
Because that comes down to like who owns the masters, who owns the publishing, who owns the rights to license the song out. Then they could let whoever use the record for whatever they want. Like if I use an Isley Records song for a record, and they singing about love, I personally would want to stay on the theme and then try to incorporate as much as of the original concept in the music. That's how I would sample.
Right.
You
but
know.
what I'm telling you is that the Android don't have that patience.
It's
Okay,
the
so when you
Android.
say give me an Isley Brothers song
Yeah.
or give me this, then Android just like a little happy dog. It just want to make you happy. It's
Yeah.
gonna steal their stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Or for instance, I decide my theme song, I'm just gonna have you in the back, shooby doo wine. Okay,
Yeah.
and you ain't even going to studio with me. You don't even know the notes that you're on the song singing,
Yeah.
but I got you in the background, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna say featuring Taheem. That's what I'm talking about, the vocal sampling.
Yeah.
And you know, I see a lot of the deceased artists, they do it with
Yeah.
like a new Michael Jackson song. That's not Michael Jackson song. That's
Yeah.
some song that AI put together
Yeah.
that sounds like Michael Jackson. But I see live artists, it happens to them also. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like, do you feel the industry went too far with that, or
Yeah,
are you
definitely,
comfortable
definitely.
with
I'm
that?
not comfortable with that at all because if I listen to a record, I don't want to hear an AI version of, let's just say, Juicy, for
Right.
example. I don't want to hear any new Biggie bars that he didn't write.
Right.
Because it's not going to have his sense of humor. It's not going to have the double entendres that he would use. It's not going to have his
Oh,
personality.
they'll try their best. They will try their best. Right.
It's gonna lack the authenticity. Even if you make a fake Whitney Houston record, you ain't gonna sing it like Whitney Houston sang it. It's gonna be like a copy. It's gonna be like it's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same
Right.
because you would never know how she would sing in 2025. The artificial intelligence can only like mimic something that she previously did. Or in
But
that
it keeps
point of her life.
upgrading, so it keeps thinking that it's what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? It's perfection, basically. So
No, it ain't perfection. If it's man-made, it ain't perfect. If it's man-made, it ain't perfect.
right.
You
right.
know.
Please let them know. Let them know.
It ain't perfect.
Did we miss anything? Because the time go kind of fast sitting here.
I would like to talk about the Thanksgiving album that I dropped.
Yes, please do. Let us know.
The Thanksgiving album, it's an album with 7 tracks. We're gonna hear a snippet of one of the records from the album a little later on.
Is that the one we have here now?
Yeah, that's
The
the
last
that's
one?
the one I got.
All right. So.
So we're gonna, but that album, that's a real personal album for me. I want you to definitely check it out. There's a lot of deep cuts on there. It's a lot of morals, a lot of meaning. The production is real tight,
Okay.
It's an album that I hold close to my heart. It's my favorite project. Because I really expressed myself. It's something I wanted to make, to give God thanks. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Why? Because I'm alive.
Most
just
importantly,
because.
right.
You
Most
know,
importantly, and you don't need like.
You know.
You don't need a whole 10-page letter. Of,
No. And with God, you're able to be vulnerable. You're able to be vulnerable. There's there's a song I have on it. The album, the title track called Thanksgiving is a letter directly to God.
Right.
So where I'm just giving him thanks for just life and just the little things. I think that people need to hear those type of messages because just thanking him for water, just to be able to feel the sunrise, as I said in one of my one of the lyrics, is very poetic. Things like that. Being able to see, being able to have water. People in society today, they're so caught up in materialism. Oh, I don't have the new Mercedes. Oh, I don't have the new this or the new that. Are you breathing? You take water out
They
the
don't
equation.
realize that. They just think they fell out the sky.
You
I've noticed that.
take
with people.
water out of the equation. You take clean drinking water out of your life. You have no access to clean water. You're not going to be thinking about a new Mercedes. You're not going to be thinking about a new Range Rover. You're going to be thinking, man, I'm thirsty. I got to take a shower. So I like to talk about those type of things in the record. Being able to feel the wind, being able to take a walk on the beach, being able to walk.
Right.
Those are things people take for granted until, they laying in the hospital and they can't do those things. So I think bringing those type of lyrics and those type of messages to the music, will be a benefit to everybody in a sense.
Right,
Because it'll make you more grateful. And when you're more grateful, you're gonna treat people better because you grateful, I'm grateful. I'm not looking at what you got. You're not looking at what I got. You happy with what you got, even if you have $1 million and I have 25,000. We both grateful,
And humble comes in.
And
there, right?
humility.
People have to learn how to be a little bit more humble and just, appreciate a blessing, whether it's great, whether it's small.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's still a blessing. Okay. But
That also comes with their upbringing as well, and what you were exposed to. So even if people are not grateful, I try to think, well, what kind of household did they grow up in? Were they grateful You know what I'm saying? Did they grow up around people that were grateful? And most times people didn't have those things. So I like to make music for people who probably didn't have those things. So I could probably be like a bridge to those things. If you didn't get it at home, at least you could hear it from a record, and it could have a kind of imprint on your life, and you could, it could do some good. If you didn't have it, you could still get it. So even
Right.
if people are reckless, even if people are living wild and crazy lives, all right, it doesn't. For me, I believe that it doesn't necessarily condemn them forever. I still think that
Right.
as long as you're alive, there's hope. There's hope for an individual to be better. So even if you're the worst person on the earth, and everybody hates you, if you breathing and you're alive, that means somebody is thinking about you, and somebody woke you up this morning, and somebody cares about you, and that you're valuable,
Right, and you also can't be so judgmental
Yeah.
towards others.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because it clearly tells you in the Bible to clean your own backyard up
Yeah.
first before you tell someone
Exactly.
theirs is dirty. But
Yeah.
it's almost like the innocent till proven guilty, where
Mhm.
you get arrested here, you're guilty till proven
Yeah.
innocent, and it's the same thing there.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you to clean up your backyard
Yeah, definitely.
before they even look and see what
Yeah.
theirs look like.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
I make sure my house is clean first. That's the first thing I
Right,
clean.
right.
So, because I know what clean look like. I know what clean is.
Right.
And I think it's more about helping each other, because it took time for me to even get to that point musically, and mentally and morally. When I was young, I used to rap. I used to be into the streets too. I owned a gun.
Right,
Do
right,
I own one now? No, I own a Bible.
Right.
So there's even hope for the young guys that's out there thugging and bugging, as my uncle used to say.
Right.
Even if you find yourself in prison, God, there's lots of prison ministries out there where people are getting saved and people are having their lives changed and their minds changed. Most of all, yeah, you may be locked up for the rest of your life, and not coming out, but don't mean you can't have peace in your heart and peace in your mind.
And then you don't know who has the final decision. The man upstairs had the final decision.
Yeah.
Okay, you could read in the Bible where people got arrested and mysteriously the gates opened up. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's all about what's here and what you believe in
Yeah.
the most. You understand? And we can have like a whole conversation there, because I feel a lot of people just don't know. Once
Yeah.
again, back to the rehabilitating when people was never habilitated. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? It's almost like a catch-22. And it's the same thing there. People don't know the Holy Spirit. People don't know, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
the gospel. People don't know the word.
Yeah.
People don't know, okay? But they know everything they show them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And people I mentioned earlier, okay? And what they see on TikTok and that type of stuff, they absorb that in. And it really takes away from greatness, actually. It really does. Because you too focused here what everybody else is doing to do something for yourself and to do something, period, in life.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Very, very true. And social media, there's a thing like, I'll be in a bad mood. If I'm ever in a bad mood and I may scroll, somebody on there could be saying something positive. There's a lot of people doing positive on social media too as well.
Yeah, I mean, I go every now and then and I'll post the stuff, like when I see your stuff,
Yeah.
I share it in my story, you know what I'm saying? So there is a light, you know what I'm saying, there,
Yeah.
but there are a lot
There's
of
a lot of
darkness. A lot, you know what I'm saying? And this is why we can't get to where we need to go, because there's no type of counseling. Like, there's a lot of trauma that's been going on for before our time.
Yeah.
We're talking about 600, 800 years ago, that has been sinking in, you know what I'm saying? And we're seeing more of the damage now these days
Than ever before.
than ever. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that kids always obeyed their parents, but as far as killing their parents and all of this other stuff, that we're seeing these days, you know, is crazy.
Yeah, I seen a news story where a dude killed his whole entire family over girls.
Right.
You know, and that has to do with a lot what you put in your mind, you know, and the values.
And not owning up to nothing, so real easily to unalive themselves, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, or even to threaten to unalive themselves. I see a guy, he called himself flashing the girl at the Hooters McDonald's.
I think I
okay?
seen that study.
Right, and then she like, oh, you pervert, what are you doing? This guy pulls off and goes and kills himself.
Yeah,
I'm
I seen
not to
that story.
laugh
I
at
seen
it,
that
but
story just recently, and I had some mixed feelings about that because it's like he killed himself because of the shame, but the shame only came because of his actions. You know,
right,
if you
but
didn't
you wasn't
do that,
ashamed to pull up with
yeah.
everything hanging
I
out.
think
you know what
he
I'm
should
saying?
have been
Right.
ashamed, you know, to do that. But it's sad because, you know, he probably heard, you know, I don't know his upbringing or his life, you know, condolences to his wife and children. But you know, you have to be wise in your decisions.
Right,
And
then
you
you gotta know what the consequences
because you don't
is
never
gonna
know
be.
what the consequences
Right.
are. I assume that he thought maybe he would just do his flashing and get a kick out of it. But we have smartphones nowadays,
Right.
people. So if you do something crazy, there's somebody who can record it and expose
He was mixed up all the way around. Like even the crime, homeboy, they probably would have gave you a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't doing no hard time, chain gang time for that right there. So
But you know, there is a thing called the court of public opinion, and people can the information age, this stuff never goes away. Once you upload it to the internet, it's going to be there until
Right.
the internet is done. So
Right.
you better be smart with what you post and what you do, because you could walk down the street and there's a camera watching you somewhere. You're
but
not
they
aware
even
of it.
capitalize off of that. So that
Yeah.
maybe they would have made a song. Maybe they would have made a meme. But you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He still would have even the pink sauce lady. Look at these people that capitalize off
Or
of this crazy stuff. Or even the one
The Hak Tui chick, the chick.
Oh, Hawk too, right? Her. How about the one that climbed through his sister's window and he like hide the kids, hide your family, hide everything,
Hide your wife. Oh,
right,
yeah.
right. Okay, they would have capitalized off of it anyway.
Yeah.
It's just real.
I don't think you could capitalize off flashing a woman in public.
What? He probably could have got the OnlyFans of OnlyFans page right there.
Nah, I think first he would have had to do some time.
if they
for
would have
that. If
gave
they
him
would have
that,
gave him time.
right? If they would have gave him that.
He had a nice car too. He had a nice car.
Right. Okay.
You know.
Thank God, because I'm about to say, where was the auction? Because I know they put that car for auction.
Howard's buddy. He's not even around to see this video either.
Right. And then, you know, the moral of the story is like some of these decisions,
Yeah.
you have to think 3 steps ahead before you
Yeah,
do it.
before you
know
make
what I'm
your
saying?
decision.
Because in his case, I'm pretty sure if he had a chance to do it over again,
He wouldn't have done it.
right, took charges, everything.
Because
Yeah.
it's like that, and that's the result of not having God in your life, and not having some type of morals and principles, or not having a father, or having someone discipline you when you're growing up, because then you're going to make stupid decisions like that, you know?
So does that like influence your music
Yes.
that you make?
Yes. Thanksgiving album, I didn't even cuss on the album,
All right now.
because I wanted everybody to be able to enjoy it.
Right.
You know, and I didn't talk about money on the album. I didn't talk about clothes. I didn't talk about jewelry. I just talked about life.
Right.
You know, I talked about society. I talked about God. You know, some things that
Things that count the most and
count
most
the most.
important in life that
you know,
should be focusing
there's a
on.
song called "Feed the Children" where I talk about, you know, thanking my mother, and my parents, and my fathers for their upbringing. You know, for even the whoopings.
Right.
You know,
right.
just thanking, and it's called Feed the Children. You know, because it's about feeding people. If you feeding them with knowledge and information. You know,
right.
just being grateful, having morals and principles. It always comes back to the morals and principles, because morals and principles is the foundation of everything.
And
Once
then-
you remove them, you got chaos.
To add on to you, with the children, they are the future.
Future,
Okay?
yeah.
So if you're treating them a certain way, just imagine when they get up there, okay?
Yeah.
How you think they're gonna treat the people under them,
Yeah.
or even care about the people under them?
I seen a little boy on the train with his mother today, and I was just looking, like, that is going to be, in 20 years, he's going to be like 25, 26, and he's going to be a young adult walking around. Now, say somebody comes on the train and they're cursing and they're arguing and they're loud or whatever. Yeah, I'd ride the train. I could look nice on the train.
Hey,
And he's going to see that, and he's going to perceive the world a certain way.
yeah,
He's going to perceive, society a certain way.
right.
So, I think people they really have to take into consideration, because the kids absorbing everything, and they're intelligent. They're intelligent,
Pick
and they're
up
mimicking
fast,
us. They're
right.
mimicking us even more so.
Even faster because of the computer and the technology. So
Yeah. And especially if they're on the phone or they're 5 years old, 6 years old with a cellular phone or a mobile device, the world outside is getting to your child before you actually, can get to them.
Right.
These things people are learning from the internet. They never had the discussion with their parents before.
Oh, I ain't mad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a parent myself, so I know how it could be with the sexting and all of that stuff. I can come here and tell like a million stories of
A million?
Open discussions that I
Yeah.
had to have with my children, you know what I'm saying, about certain situations that they got themselves in. My greatest line to them is just make better decisions.
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel bad
Yeah.
because a lot of this stuff, they're not the first
Person to do it.
okay?
And they're not going to be the last person
Right.
to do it either.
Okay, so instead of just making them feel guilty.
Guilty
Okay,
about it.
just going through these situations is guilt enough.
guilt
but
enough.
for them to get over that hump and to move on and to not study that for the rest of their life,
Yeah.
because those be the demons that follow you for the rest of your life, and then they wonder how people just keep getting dragged into certain situations.
Yeah.
Is because they have those demons on their back and they've
Yeah.
never been, chased away from them or moved away from them. So it just follows them at every point that they go to, which is scary.
Yeah. 'Cause those are the growing pains. Those are the growing pains.
It is. And you remember, you could have probably had a fight back in the days. If they talked about it for 6 months, they talked about it too long. Now they'll be talking about this stuff for 600 years because you have video
Yeah.
coverage of it.
Yeah.
So many of your generations will be watching the same stuff. Think about the legacy that you're leaving behind.
Yeah.
Think about, you know what I'm saying? It's not all about that attention. I feel I might get caught up in there. I'm talking a lot today.
Yeah.
I might get caught up in there, but I have this.
Yeah.
So this is like my counteract to attention seeking. But I see a lot of people out there, they just need the attention, so they do certain things just to get the attention. You know what I'm saying? And it's embarrassing.
It starts at home. When you don't get attention at home, you seek it from your peers. I had a problem with that when I was a child. Attention. When
Yeah.
you're not getting attention and you go to school, you're going to start acting up, and now you got to be funny. Now you got to have jokes, and you get a reaction. If you like the reaction that you get, you go further. You go further.
It's like drugs.
Yeah, so it starts at the house. It starts at home. It starts with the parents.
Right,
it's-
but kids, I kind of could give them a pass for that.
Yeah.
But to watch grown folks, like,
age and maturity isn't really the same
Yeah, it
thing.
doesn't.
You have a lot of people that are, 28, but
mentality of
mentality of
12.
12-year-old.
Right.
And that's because of information.
Oh, okay. So now they're yelling for this video here. What's the name of this video?
This song is called "Keep Me Alive."
Okay. Do we got an extra part at the end of this video?
No,
right
we
here?
do
Okay,
not.
so let's keep me alive. Okay, and then we'll just chop it up too,
Yeah.
because this is from the Thanksgiving.
This is from the Live on the Square album.
Oh, okay, right.
Keep Me Alive. I produced the record. I did all the editing for the music video myself, and along with Leandro Marte.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? it takes a lot to do that, and another good thing is that you're proud of the work that you did. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, they be like this.
That's
and you
my
say,
first. That's my
Didn't
first.
you do that?
That's my first time like having footage and chopping it up and making it look nice.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily capture all the images, but I did all the editing.
We could be our biggest critic.
Yeah.
So we will blow our own self up being hypercritical, but
Nah.
people wouldn't notice none of that stuff. That
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's probably bothering us. So that's why it's always good to just do it, put it out there, and then just be open for
Yeah.
feedback. And
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. I live with it.
Right, right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good ain't easy. Every now and then there be some guy. You know the type, nothing by, nothing to keep, just hump till you dry. Come by next week, fix my ties. It's a little bit creaky, so he could stay, yeah, that shit sneaky. But it works when it need to. Have some food cooked, little weed too. Have on something little see-through, so a brother could see what he need to. She said her cat can't hit it from the back, or go in the kitchen and grab a snack. And that's facts, and that's whack. Girl, get a man, fuck all that. Spending your money on friskies when you and I could be getting frisky. Oh, yeah, yeah, man, it's making me high.
So, what was the introduction to that right there? Because your introduction got cut off.
that one is called "Keep Me Alive."
Right, but I'm talking about the whole introduction. I feel like we just missed a moment before the video came on.
Oh yeah, this was the second half of that music video.
Oh, okay.
So it was a 6-minute song. The first part was called "Keep Me Alive," and the next part was called the first part was "Live on the Square." Next part, "Keep Me Alive." It was like a mashup, and I kind of
Oh, shucks. I was unmiked. My bad. But I figured exactly what you're saying because I seen you went back to the after party and then you went back to the club. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Okay. Right.
yeah. So the first part, it had the record had some unsavory language, a couple F words. So
I sure did.
we can't air that.
Right. Oh, it didn't show. Okay.
No, we
I'm about to
didn't
say,
show
I
that.
sure these ears, I sure missed it.
No, it didn't have that. It got to be clean television, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Thank you. I thank you for that. Got your sister in the house. Got to shout her out.
Yeah,
Did we
shout out
miss-
to my sister, Nikki Hoff.
That's right.
What up, girl?
Right
My
now.
sister's actually, she was the rapper first.
All right.
Yeah, and she taught me how to write, so there wouldn't be no rhymes if she didn't teach me how to
Oh,
write.
you see what I found out in the last?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we'll set something up to get her back over here. Did we miss anybody else? You know what I'm saying? Because this discussion, the Power Hour, we just was here, there,
Yeah.
so I didn't even really get to talk about your sector of music that you're doing right now, because you're pioneering that sector. I'm so happy. Mumble, Shoot Up the Graveyard Rap is going. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that one is called.
It's still there, but it's kind of on its way out.
Right.
Because the prisons are filling up, and I think rappers are starting to see that's really not the way to go with the music, because we got a lot of rappers that are getting locked up and incarcerated. We got a lot of rappers that are dying.
Right.
We got a lot of rappers that are
catch-22.
that are beefing, and they kind of starting to wake up. You got a lot of people that's trying to mix the gang and the street life with the music, and that's not really the way to go. Because music is a feeling thing. You know what I'm saying?
And then they leaving other people with their money, basically.
Yeah.
You go to jail, money
so
ain't going.
I think little by little, music is changing.
No, I'm talking about this sector here because you're not an R&B singer or that type. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
But
more- I'm
you-
a-
right,
More like a Swiss Army knife, you could say.
right.
I could rap. I could do poetry. I do poetry. I could, sing. I produce. And I could do different kind of vocals with things in my voice, different things.
Right.
So but I'm not the first. Drake is doing rapping and singing. Lauryn Hill was rapping and singing. I think a lot of other people do. Wyclef was rapping and singing. So
That too.
so it's several artists that you could say do similar things to what I do. I
Right,
just
but
have
don't
my own
downplay
message.
yourself because they do what they do.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what
I'm saying,
And
but it's
right.
as far as like production and creation, I have my own message and way of delivery, and they have their own, and I think that's unique about it.
Right. All right. Did we miss anything? Because time is just going.
Not at all. You guys could tap in. Follow me on YouTube, Taheem, Instagram, God's Favorite Rapper.
Right, especially for that snippet that they missed.
Yeah, for the snippet that you missed.
What song is that?
That one is called Eye of the Storm.
Okay, and it's there on
Yes,
YouTube.
that's on Instagram as well. That's a record from the Thanksgiving album. It's a very smooth record, very soft, very mellow, very beach record. A lot of people enjoy it. I've heard it. I've been told it's some people's favorite record off the album.
Hey,
That's what they say.
hey. Well,
No?
we'll get some new lovers to love that music there
Yeah.
too, and tap in. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you
It's
for
a
having me,
pleasure.
John
Yes,
Dredd. It's been an
anytime.
honor. This has been great conversation. I love it.
Right. I've been missing you for a couple of years
This
now.
is
so
like
we gotta
living room
stay,
conversation.
We gotta stay in contact with each
Definitely.
other. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? Right. Definitely.
Only thing we're missing was like maybe a couple beers, or,
Hey,
or a
right.
nice cocktail or Pinot Grigio.
Right. You would know. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you got the beer right with that one. So,
Fire. Kill it. Cross the music. Yes.
You know, but we good.
S-I-N-Y.
Your mic was off, brethren.
I know, because in between